Hi, I'm Jonathan Holting Cohen. We're here at Jerry's Music Shop in South Hadley, and I'd like to show you a little bit about different fingerings on the saxophone. One of the most common places where there are multiple fingering options is with B flat. So whether it's B flat in the middle of the staff or above the staff, that often presents several different possibilities. The one that I recommend using as a default is the one that people often call side B flat, which is the first two fingers here, so A, plus this bottom of these three side keys here. And this fingering is really nice for anything where you're coming from A to B flat. It works really nicely. Another one that you can use occasionally is this bis B flat. Bis also means alternate, and you can use this alternate fingering here. I recommend that you practice all of your scales with both of these fingerings, primarily. There's some other fingerings that are often really nice as well. You can try this first finger here and this fourth finger here. This, as you can see, when this key goes down, it actually closes this bis key here. So it's almost like you're doing the same thing, except that these additional notes keys are also covered. You can see that in that case, that's a pretty awkward fingering. Those other two work much more nicely. The same thing also goes with this fifth finger here. So I wouldn't recommend those in those particular instances. However, let's say you're going to play a G flat major arpeggio. All you have to do is leave this finger down, and that saves a lot of trouble. As you can see, for me to do it with this side fingering here, that's a little bit more difficult. The bis fingering is fine as well. However, this finger, in order to play that, you need to cover both of these buttons, or press both of these keys with the same finger, which leaves a little bit of room for problems. So sometimes this other fingering is a lot nicer. The same can go with 1 and 4. So if you're trilling between, say, F and B flat, that's often a really nice one. You have to just move fewer fingers. So the fewer fingers you can move, often the better. Another alternate fingering that is very, very useful is this F sharp here. So for F sharp, you have two choices, this and this. And they have slightly different timbres and slightly different intonations, and getting to know both of them and using both of them fluently is very, very important. So you could use, let's say, for trilling quickly. The second one is a little bit faster and a little bit easier to use. Also, chromatically, sometimes this one is better as well. So as you get higher in the instrument, there become additional possibilities for alternate fingerings. When you get up to E, say, you can use these two palm keys here, the first two here, plus the top one on the right side, to play an E. Or you can actually play 1, 2, 3 with G, plus the octave key, of course, and then roll this finger, pivot this finger up to press this key here. They have different sounds and different intonations, different resistance levels, and you can experiment with those. F is also possible. You would just lift up this third finger here. There are also a few other fingerings in the middle register that I sometimes think are fun to use. So, coming up from C sharp, normally we would go to D. So we would add the octave key plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to get to that D. Alternately, you can use this second side key here sometimes. It gives a very, very different sound, so you'll want to use it judiciously. That can be really nice, and you can experiment with the other keys. So if I add that plus this side, this first key, it's going to get a not quite the right pitch. So that one isn't as useful, but so from that D, I can go up by using the E, and then go up higher by using the F sharp key. And those can be very useful as well. You'll notice sometimes in there, I was using the C key while I was pushing the second key here, and that was for intonation purposes. And you can experiment with that and see what intonation works best for you, or what fingering works best for the intonation you're looking for on your particular instrument. C sharp often tends to be flat in the middle, and some people have different approaches. I recommend that you be able to do all of these alternate fingerings equally well in as many instances as possible. So that means being able to play middle C sharp in tune, actually. If you say, oh, it's going to go flat. Might keep it a little bit higher. Bring the pitch up more. You can start adding these side keys here. So you can see that it changes the pitch. Another option that some people use is to press the third finger here and the octave key.